Hi, my name's Stephanie Ambrosius and I'm a relationship therapist. Thank you for joining me. Please like, subscribe and hit the notification button so you don't miss any more episodes of this show. This show is actually a review, a reaction video to the video that I put out last week, which was episode 1 of Love Is Martina and Leon, where I was talking to an amazing couple about their journey, their love journey. And what I want to do in this video is actually tell you what goes through my mind when I'm talking to couples about their relationship, about their processes within the relationship, why they think the way they do. So this is what you'll see in this video. The first clip is about the couple reminiscing about their relationship and how they first met. Here it is. Known each other since you were 4 years old.
It's weird. You can't really think of, okay, what was my first impressions of Leon? I've just always known him.
But I always still liked Martina. She was always still in my head.
Right.
Yeah,
I always liked Leon. Didn't confess it, but I always liked him. And when I saw him, I was like, But it wasn't something that I ever vocalised and said.
It's so nice when couples reminisce about their relationships. When they come in to see me, it's fair to say that they're not often in the best place. So when I ask them how the relationship first began, they start to reminisce and the smile on their face is priceless, because for the first time in a long time, they're actually agreeing on something together and thinking back to a really nice event together. Quite often, it's the first time that you might hear your partner actually tell someone else about the great reasons why they were attracted to you. But quite often, you find that the reason why your partner was attracted to you is now what's hindering the relationship. So one might say, they were so playful and free in the beginning, but now I just want them to be an adult and be responsible and take things seriously. Or they used to protect themselves so much from, their family or the world before, stand up for themselves. But now they're standing up for themselves against me. And that becomes a problem. So it's really good to think back to, what was I attracted to in the beginning? And can I still be attracted to that quality? Is that quality getting in the way of the relationship? Why is it that is what I wanted in the beginning, but that is not what I want now? So the next clip was Leon talking about when he was waiting for Martina to contact him after they had exchanged numbers.
I actually would call Martina and try to message her and stuff, because then I started going, was at college and stuff.
Yeah.
And we would talk now and then all of a sudden I wouldn't get a response.
Oh.
So I'd message and then Tina would just stop messaging me back. I'm like, what's wrong with this girl? Like, what's going on?
See, I don't remember that. I remember responding, maybe not like abruptly, like I wasn't by the phone. But
Maybe you weren't eager enough, Martina, for Leon.
I guess not. Or I didn't realise that I was being pursued. There was no inkling of that, so I thought it was just friendship. You get back to each other when you get back to each other.
That's so funny. When is the wrong or right time to call? As Leon said, you can't just sit there thinking about, what the other person is thinking, because you need to base everything on facts, really, not on perception. So you need to call when you think it's the right time to call. And quite often I find that the person's communication at the beginning of the relationship follows how their communication is in the rest of the relationship. So like Leon said, he hasn't got time to waste. I think he's followed through with that in the rest of the relationship. So at the beginning, you can really observe that about the person that you've just met. And this will tell you a lot about how they mean to carry on. Also, Martina didn't realise she was even being pursued. So what we've got to think about is, if you're not being clear on what you want from the other person, then they're never going to know when you were talking to them. If they seemed quite keen, then call them. Okay, so the next clip is about Martina's relationship with Leon's mum. Who made the first move? Who rekindled the relationship?
It was me. No,
it was
you
really.
actually. Yeah, it was your mother. Yeah. Yeah, so when he came back from Anguilla, his mum saw me at church, and then she was like, "Oh, can I get your number?"
The greatest thing about this is that Martina feels that she's accepted by the other very important woman in Leon's life. And without this could put a strain on the relationship. The next clip is about family pressures. Have you felt pressure from your families in any way to make it work, to stay together or to be together?
No, I don't think so. I think the great thing about, I guess, my relationship with Carol, his mum, is that even if she senses that, are they okay? Is everything okay there?
Yeah.
She just say it. You guys have something special, but it's never felt like, oh no, I need to stay with him for my mum or dad or for them. No, I've just wanted to be with Leon, so I wouldn't say so. Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say. So in a previous relationship, I did feel a pressure.
Okay.
Again, it was our families knew each other very well.
It's so nice to hear that this couple don't feel pressure to stay together because of their families. The pressure can come from any direction, really. It could be cultural expectations of marriage. It could be the stigma attached to divorce. It could be just watching your parents and see what they go through and the expectation that you will stay together for the rest of your life. And marriage vows, they are for better or for worse. And some families take this very seriously, which is a very good thing, but the pressure to stay in a relationship that you're not happy in is quite intense. So if you are bonded with your in-laws and you fall in love with your in-laws, sometimes it's much harder to leave a relationship if you're not happy with your partner, because there's so much more to lose, especially if there's children involved. There's more people to lose and to miss. And on the flip side, if you don't have a good bond with your in-laws, sometimes people leave the relationship prematurely because actually they're happy to run as far as they can from the in-laws. Some leave the relationship because of the in-laws and not because of their partner. So you've really got to think about that when you're going through hard times with your partner. Am I leaving because of the in-laws or the relationship I have with my partner? Am I staying for my in-laws or for the relationship that I have with my partner? So the next clip speaks for itself.
In that I did feel the pressure, but it was on 2 occasions, where we was together just as like boyfriend, girlfriend, and then I ended it.
Okay.
He ended it twice.
Yeah.
Okay.
The first time, to be fair to you, he was actually in a relationship when he found out that I liked him.
The relationship was ending anyway. It was done anyway.
And then my cousin came to me and said, "Do you like Leon?" I said, "Yeah, I do." And he said, "Can I tell him?" I was like, "He's in a relationship." I'm a home wrecker. And he's just like, no, it's over. As we started dating and that unfolding, well, I could see more quickly that he wasn't fully over her.
Okay.
So I kind of just sent him a text saying, "You're not fully over her, are you?" And then he was honest and just said no. And so I said, "Well, I'm not that girl, so let's just call it. Let's just end this, and then you just deal with what you got to deal with, so that I don't get more invested."
The previous relationship was a very intense one. Let's just say that it was very intense.
Yeah.
Okay.
In my mind, it was if I've started something, I want to finish it, and I guess I kind of always just saw myself in the relationship as, just because you're having a few issues doesn't mean you just end it.
Gosh, that's a sticky situation, because when you're in a relationship and you're not happy with your partner and you meet someone else, it can be quite confusing for everyone. You have to enter with morals and respect and a bit of self-reflection. Sometimes it gives you a false sense of refuge, because everything is harder in the current relationship that you're in, and the grass always looks greener on the other side. It does stop you from working on your relationship. So to hear Leon say that, even though he did like Martina and things weren't right in his relationship, he still had that ethic to work harder at the relationship and to try until he knew that there was, no use in trying anymore. So at 21, Martina decided that, after finding out how it felt to be with Leon, she realised that he wasn't ready to be in this relationship with her. So, I don't know how a 21-year-old managed to think like that at that time. And she decided that she wanted to set them both free, which is so commendable, and she did so. I'm sure it wasn't easy for her, but I know, and I speak to many adults who have been in relationships for a very long time, who after 10 years realised that actually they weren't ready to start the relationship they're in right now, and they did not know that them or their partner were still not over their ex-partner yet. They're still learning this now. So for them to know this at such a young age is mind-blowing. So Leon's approach to breaking up with his ex really broke down how he approaches problems and situations in his life. It sounded like he was not going to give up, that he was going to try and fix the relationship, which is really a really good quality to have in a relationship, because a relationship with anyone is not just about the great times, it's about how you face the problems together. So it showed that he was quite persistent and that he was willing to try and work on it, even though his mind was elsewhere. Such a hard situation to be in. So the next clip is about breakup number 2.
And the second time that we broke wasn't due to a relationship, it was due to Leon. Leon was in a place where you just quit, you didn't have any work coming in.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't going very well for him. He was just staying at a friend's house that was putting him up. And I was working, and he just didn't like that idea. He didn't like the idea of me paying for everything. And
right.
Started getting like that. We're going out and Tim's offering to pay because I really don't have the money to pay.
And he just couldn't deal with it. And I was like, it's not a big deal.
Yes, it is.
It was for you, Leon.
It was for him. He just was just like, I just need to get my life sorted. Yeah. I can't be in a relationship with you right now because I need to get my life sorted.
Yeah.
And for me, I didn't understand that. I just thought, this is ridiculous. Like, obviously, you're going to get your life sorted at some stage. Knowing his character and knowing how he likes to have things and have certain things in order.
Yes.
I can understand that he just wanted to be a particular type of man for me, but at that time, I just didn't see it. But I see it now.
I was shocked to hear about breakup number 2 because Leon was about 22 at the time, and there's a lot of 40-year-olds, 50, 60-year-old adults that don't know who they want to be for themselves and for others. So for him to know that he wanted to be a certain type of person for Martina and for himself, and he wasn't happy with those dynamics, was really shocking for me to hear of someone who was then 21, 22. And for him to say, right, I'm not happy with this dynamic, so I'm going to go off and sort myself out and then come back when I feel that I can support you, was really, really big, a really big decision to make. Martina didn't understand it at all. So obviously she didn't have those expectations of Leon. He really felt like his ego was being dented by Martina paying his way, and he wasn't happy with that. A lot of couples actually stay together in these dynamics for a while. Most young couples would stay together, they take the handouts, they just roll with it. They see where it goes because they know, they've got their life ahead of them. Things could change. They have aspirations, some of them. But for Leon, he couldn't do this. I find that when couples stay together and they do this, sometimes if it lasts for too long and they can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, they do begin to resent themselves and their partner, and it becomes very difficult and can put a strain on the relationship. But for them, the fact that Leon went off and he sorted himself out and came back, it seemed like it worked for them. It's different for everyone, but this is what worked for this couple. So I was interested to see where this thought was coming from. Was Leon basing what he felt that he should offer Martina on traditional gender stereotypes? Where was that coming from? Was that coming from his upbringing? Is this what he saw in his parents' dynamic? Was this coming from his relationship with his ex-girlfriend? Were they her expectations of him at the time that he was carrying into this relationship with Martina? Had he actually asked Martina if these were her expectations before deciding that he couldn't fulfill his own expectations of himself? And for Martina, what were her gender stereotypes like when she was growing up at home? You know, does she think in a similar way or not? What were her expectations of herself and Leon at the time? So be sure to tune in to Love Is Martina and Leon episode 2 to find out. Please subscribe, like and hit the notification bell so you don't miss an episode of Love Is.